jot daf lay am si biir discours at bu jot daf lay am si biir discours
waaw
parce que man maa ko doon
ay calculé laa gis léegi su nekkoon moom gisoon naa
gisoon na
ma ko gisoon di ko doon comme dina la ëpp moo xam naa dina si am voilà wala ma def rek
Dari tadi dikaji Abu Jannah dinatu dari semua tujuan alamat dari semua jadi kalau bersihnya kalau nanti dinawasi Abdullah Isanya mungkin sekalian dalam polis sekumpulan boleh sekumpulan boleh
Yes.
dia orang adalah kunci. Jika dengan perusahaan, jika itu akan, jika itu akan, Nara kita assalamualaikum. Nara kita polis, anaknya mulai polis, orang mulai saya, mulai.
Okay, good morning, wonderful viewers out there. It's yet again another important event, which is a State of the Nation address by His Excellency the President. And well, of course, as you can see behind me, it's the arrival of His Excellency the Vice President, and followed by His Excellency the President, and also we've seen other dignitaries who are currently in the building and have already taken their seats. Well, of course, it is a constitutional mandate for a sitting president, according to in accordance with Section 77 of the 1997 Constitution, and the order of 24(1) of the standing order for a sitting president to come to the National Assembly to address the nation through the Parliamentary, and also to talk about some of the achievements that has been administered by his government, and also to outline the challenges as well. So we'll be seeing the president today to talk about issues of various sectors today, ranging from health, finance and economy, agriculture, youth and sports, just to name a few. So today with me, I have two of my colleagues, Ramatulai Gay, who will be taking you through in the local language, both Mandinka and Wolof, and also with me, I have another colleague of mine who will also be taking you through with the local languages. So we start with Ramatulai. Ramatulai, tey gis nañ His Excellency President Adama Barrow dina ñëw fii nii pour mu daal di address nation bi mu nekk State of the Nation address mu wax ak parliamentarians yi, mu wax ak Gambians yi, some of the achievements yoo xam ne nguuraam bi loolu lañ administer, and of course moom tam dina mun a highlight some of the challenges yoo xam ne nguuraam bi face nañ ko during the course of year 2023 or 2022 to 2023. So yow tey ñu ngi nii fii tey si National Assembly.
jërëjëf Aïssatou Koli di nuyuwaat ñi nga xamante ne ñoo nekk di seetaan jamono ji Gambian Talents TV amaat mbégte rek teewalaat leen fii rek si National Assembly niñ ko dee defee at bu jot rek si State of the Nation address at bu jot rek ki nga xamante ne mooy njiitu réew mi di His Excellency President Adama Barrow dina ñëw teew jàkkaarloog pencum ndawi réew mi waxtaan ak ñoom dénku réew mi ba pare bu wax yokkute yi nga xamante ne nguuram def na koo liggéey ak jafe-jafe yi nga xamante ne ñu ngi koy jànkuwanteel su ko defee du bàyyi si fànn yëpp dina bànqaas yi nga xamante ne ñu ngi ci nguur gi yëpp si tàngat yaram si wàllum mbay mi si wàllum jàng bi ci secteur yëpp dina ko wax su ko defee at bu jot dina ñëw mu adresse ko right now nii comme ni ko Aïssatou waxee rek kii di vice président bi dugat si na fii si National Assembly bi dignitaires yu bari ñu ngi fi député yi tamit ñu ngi fi ñu ngi si biir Kembasi xam naa ne si kanam tuuti dina leen génneel lépp li nga xamante ne rek ñu ngi xew ci biir ak ci biti National Assembly bi right now sécurité bi ñoo nekk noonu di display mu nekk li nga xamante ne rafet na trop Aïcha.
jërëjëf Ramatulaay comme que loolu réer na ma bàyyi yow tamit rek nga nuyu mbokk yi ñoo xam ne ñoo la nekk di seetaan.
Assalamu alaikum jiber lal be anila modal be wala bankun kam bal konta na ka faga don Gambian Talents TV le wala National Assembly to comme ya Aïssatou ya fo nyamen don bi me be kere nyam president wala nyanta na la dan ka wala dal di banko la ka tan di banko le min achieve so far ni nyanta ka programme min landi mi bara min banko kam ko min be tamaka njam so na la taka ku jama so nyum ko don ase continue ka Gambian Talents TV mba be bonni la ngaji be kala ko be la nyam man ya je ko be nyam nyam vice president o dum dal na bari man sa ko nyum follow fo mo fotana ko na bla tan no to fo be kere nyam do ba bonni la inshallah
what are your expectations even jibe kanana ka bi president wala address la last year anatala no adiamuta bankola fanna la karola surtout ala administration bankola administration wala ay health male ay finance ma ay Russia Ukraine war fanna la ko samana mi ala ko wala bankola fanna tinanda challenges yamin today. So what are you looking forward nana ka bi His Excellency speech?
Yeah, I'm expecting going president of Nanjang. I mean, wala me kumo wala betala kumo ko last year crash sol bil kitanu fodum wala da malata kaje ko yol address because mo lafta ko le moy aning security sector be nyame nim banku kanyam because crime will be sharing banku kan ne mol bu ta safe at some point mol kasila ka finti so we expect nim president lat nang we want to hear that from come abanyum ko address no la nyame banku dimo kilo tempo anim falang marcel ko no bagasol da ko ya batale these are some of the things we expect ko nim president lat abi will address la banku dimo le sewo kaje ko isi jiko no comme ko to nya what we are looking what we are in from mashallah ning ala sonda and also come I have no nyame health sector ning Joman Timadal, but we know Minketanung hold him in, for the past few months, Minketanung Jang, Denan, Tangoro, Ning Worola, Bangojang, Bangkong Kajang, I Bangkong Medun, Anim Kijaforum, Alphala in Bangkong, so Kadalo Kano, the first Lamuna, like a Silla from Kajako, and he says that because Nina Locano, the person that put in every jat again, Yasuno, the other members like a good video for a leopard, so we expect go, Nemasako Nambi, I will put address and Sayako. Normal help routine solving that can make a local inshallah. That's what we expect from him.
Thank you very much. No what to lie. So no more related of the President Ola speech that community. You are looking forward to it. Nana to be ala de Amola Carola, Nico health, Nico finance and economy, Nico basic and secondary education. There are a whole lot of sectors. What about administration? What about at some point your challenges sort of, but as well, your achievements or register. So can be
baraka Aissatou tey président bi ñu expect dégg ci moom war na moo bari lool xam naa ne nag dina indi ay achievement yi nga xam ne yokkute yi nga xamante ne am na ko ci nguuram yi demee ni ci wàllum yoon xam naa ne dinañ expect pour dégg yooyu parce que soo xoolee at yi passé ni last year ba dugg si 2022 ba dugg si 2023 yëpp ñu ngi ko gis ne teg na ay xeer yu bari ak yoon yu bari tamit ñu ngi ko nekk di liggéey te tey after fii dafa war a dem si dex gi tamit pour tegaat yeneen xeer ubbi yoon tamit parce que ñu ngi ko dégg sànq ñu ngi ko announce yooyu dinañ ko expect mu wax ko si yun achievement wala yokkute yi nga xamante ne mu ngi ko am waaye dinañ expect tamit mu wax si wàllum health comme ni ko suma broda bi ministre Diop waxee si wàllum kàllaamay soose ndaxte soo xoolee health sector bi ayta war nañ koo xoolaat bu baax a baax xale yi deeyoon si acute disease bi ba léegi nit yaa ngi xool forward pour seen waajur yi ñu am justice ak yooyu noonu ba léegi nit yaa ngi ko waxantoo si réew mi ñuy expect ne tamit dina si wax ak wàllum health ba léegi soo xoolee health system bi li ci def tamit bari na bu baax a baax te at bu jot budget bi foog naa ne suñ indee budget bi si house bi fii lu ñu alloqué pour health bari na te gars yi duñ ko dee reject kon ñu ngi expect wàllu health ñu am si ay yokkute ak yan yu bees non see indi dina am solo lool si wàllum sécurité réew mi tamit dinañ yaakaar dina si wax wàllum déportation bi tamit right now nii xam ne xale yi nga xamante ne ñoo dem ba agwee ñu leen a indi réew mi mu nekk concern wala nekk jaaxle ci réew mi yëpp ndaxte waajur yi jaaxle nañ bëgg nañ tamit xam naa ne ñu ngi expect dina si adresse am bi ndax should be addressed parce que is a national concern right now nii parce que parents yëpp a jaaxle right now nii ndaxte soo xoolee ñi nga xamante ne ñoo lañ jëlee baag we indi leen su ñëwaatee dolliwaat si situation bi fi nekk right now nii crime rate bi mun na moo yokk jafe-jafe yi mun na moo yokk te soo xoolee almost 90% of kër yu bëree bëri ñu nekk outside si diaspora bi ñoo leen amee soo su fekkee ne ñooñ indi nañ leen ak ci jamono juñ toll nii dund bi num seere nii there is no price control lu neex waay jaayee ñu ngi xool tamit ndax président bi yooyu ci yu mu adresse ndax dina ko ci boole loolu séntu nañ mu boole ko ci ndaxte at bu jot di nga am yi nga xamante ne actif nga ko di nga am yokkute yi nga xamante ne def nga ko xaalis yi nga dugal si secteur bu nekk tamit dinañ ko faram fànceng seet ko naka lam ko demee waaye tey yu bëree bëri Aïcha dinañ ko expect ki nga xamante ne mooy His Excellency président Adama Barrow mu wax ko fii nii ñu xam ne nag State of the Nation address moom daf dee yàgga toogaay bi dina yàgga waaye dinañ leen take through lépp li nga xamante ne mu ngi fee xew rek dinañ leen ko génneel si Gambian Talents TV Aïcha.
You also support the Gambian Talents TV and giving you live coverage of the happenings of the State of the Nation address at the National Assembly, where His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Adam Barrow, will be addressing the nation today in accordance with the Constitution and also the standing orders of the National Assembly. So various issues will be communicated today, of course, will be from agriculture, which we know is the map of the country. But not much has been done in terms of, the food self-sufficiency that we are talking about, So I think today I am looking forward for hearing the president addressing the matters of the in terms of the standard of living of the country, and well, of course the health sector, finance and economy, which is
Education,
education, of course, tourism as well, because we've seen a lot of backdrop did happen during the course of COVID-19, and also the Russia-Ukraine. So these are the sectors that I am looking forward to, that the president will actually give us a positive thing, and also tell us the policies and plans that they have in store for the people of the Gambia in this year. So I think that it is important to hear from the horse's mouth, of course. So we have just seen the arrival of the president and the vice president, which is and of course we've also seen some of the dignitaries, the various cabinet ministers here present. So the president to your agriculture, is the backbone of our country, but we're still importing a lot of things in this country as well. So you're not going in terms of rice cultivation, in terms of giving them, it's not just about not just but also mechanism should be there, should be in place. So senior walum agriculture, you know what they economic di sentu walum president lalo.
wàllum agriculture ay sax xam naa ne sax dina si wax ndaxte of recent rek ñu ngi gis ne fertilizer bi wàññi nañ ko from 2,700 to 1,150 dalasi moom lam ko def nii ñu ngi ko jot a announce, which is very good. Suñ ko gënee mën a am at a lesser price sax dina baax, parce que soo xoolee am na ñu xam ne defoon nañ si ay gastu gis ne luñ ko amee eggut sa $1,000 export ba indi ko yëpp si biir réew mi eggut loolu. soo kon baykat yi luñ ko amee mu gën a yomba, parce que loolu dafa am solo ay sa comme ni nga ko waxee, agriculture is the backbone of this country. bu njëkk dañ fi amoon jaxali pàcca, soo xoolee woon fii nii maalo dafa yomboon fii ci réew mi. Gambia jamono Jawara gis nañ ne concentré nañ si agriculture, su nekkul 100% sax joxoon nañ ko gëddam. ñu gis ne Yaya Jammeh ki nga xamante ne mooy ex-président bi moom tam bu mu ñëwee mu ne it what we grow what we eat, mu nekkoon slogan bi nga xamante ne ñëpp a ko doon waxantoo. ba pare moom waaye moom daf doon dem su amaan holidays dañ ko dee gis ne daf dee go back to the farm, mu dundalaat mbiri at least. ba pare daf daan cultivate yi bare bari yi nga xamante ne ay njiteef lañ. so expect nañ ki nga xamante ne tam mooy président Adama Barrow mu taxaw seetlu mu innovate indi ñu nga xamante ne dinañ ko yokk si agriculture bi, dimbale baykat bi si ay tracteurs, parce que manpower bu ñoo use tamit boobu tamit baaxut si ñoom. léegi ñu ngi si modern world bi lu nekk mun nañ koy change, jàppale leen ci yu bare bari ba nga xamante ne du nekk li nga xamante ne dina yomb ak baykat yi. ndaxte tey su fekkee ne maalo bi nga xamante ne moom la ñoo bayee fii wala moom la ñoo defaree fii mu am fi mu yomba fi, dina gis ne dunda gi dina wàññeeku. ba pare yu bare bari Gambia fii nii ay sooy xool Gambia fii nii yu bari ñun Gambia sooy xool yu bare bari nekkuñ di ko fi jiyee di ko fi amee, yëpp dañ ko dee indi outside. mu nekk li nga xamante ne war nañ cee bàyyi xel. tey kon expect nañ ki nga xamante ne mooy président Adama Barrow mu xoolaat agriculture bu baax a baax. am yu bare bari yu nga xamante ne indi na ko si jàppale ko baykat yi ndaxte soo xool am na ñu doon wax ne sooy xool ay sa baykat yi ñooy ñi nga xamante ne ñoo gën a sànnil Adama Barrow si councillors election si gis nañ ko si naka la mayoral and chairman election si soo xoolee si dex gi la gën a win am na suñ benn commentateur bu doon suggest ne sax président Adama Barrow comme que dex gi taxawu nañ ko daf leen war a taxaw ñoom tamit jàppale leen nu mu leen mën a jàppalee mooy yombal fertilizer bi dimbale leen ci wàllum bay beeg yooyu noonu nu moo moderniser affaire si jàppale leen ba nga xamante ne yëpp yi dina yomb ak ñoom mais yu bëree bëri dinañ ko mën a def fii si biir réew mi nga xamante ne duñ demaat di jàngaani dara wala di jëli di dara fii di ko indiwaat ci biir réew mi du ñàkk nag pour ñu indi dara si dugal ko ci biir réew mi waaye su fekkoon ne yu bëree bëri parce que man dama dee wax ne Gambia suuf si baax na géej gi naat na kon lan moo des soo waxee ñu ne la ne ñu bari dañ dee wax ne suñ géej bi jaay nañ ko Chinese yi jën yi mag yi yëpp dañ ko yóbbu outside fii léegi ay yaboy tas ñoo fi am yooyu yëpp xam naa ne président bi war naa look into daal mu xool ko gestu Aïssatou Gambia bi man dama dee wax ne secteur yëpp a sooxee dafa mel ni yarami màgget buy métti rek foo laal yu tangee métti soo kon war na moo xool si secteur bu nekk su ko defee réew mi mën a dem kanam ñu liggéey.
jërëjëf Ramatoulaye loolu reer na ñu ñëwaat si wàllum fan youth and sports currently xam nañ ne suñ national team wala Gambia nekkul di play seen games yi si biir dëkk bi dañ gën a si biti pour ñu play of course we have challenges but also we have administered tremendous success in terms of sports gis nañ Gina Bass gis nañ fi suñ under 20 bi demoon nañ fi Africa Cup of Nations and they did great so what do you think what are you seeing in terms of improving the youth and sports sector of this country?
I think a lot has to be done, because in every country, youth needs to be considered. I mean, for a country to excel at its highest peak, I think you need to consider youth very well, because they are the most active presence in the country, you understand? And especially sports. Sport is something that, in fact, generates a whole lot of money for the country. So I think it's high time the president and his ministers invest more into sports. It's a bit disappointing at some point how in this how many good years is Gambia cannot be their only single stadium they have to play their home games, and the logistics is involved going to play in other countries. Huge amount of money could have been saved and spent elsewhere to remedy some of the crises in the country, I think. And also, I'm imploring on the government to put more effort in, because recently our under 20 with the young Scorpions, they went there. I mean, they went for the World Cup, but they could not go with their fans because there was no finance, which is rather unfortunate. They should have been there to cheer the boys. At least if they were there, I'm not saying they will win the trophy, but then the narrative would have been different. Indeed. So I think it's high time, the president and his ministers work more on the youths. The youths really need support in this country.
Thank you very much. We are now seeing the arrival of His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Adama Barrow, here at the National Assembly ahead of his State of the Nation address today. And well, of course, as you all can see, we are seeing, young people are drumming, so that's the situation here.
Président baa ngi noonu ki nga xamante ne mooy speaker bi di Fabakary Tombong Jatta ngi noonu taxaw Sidi Njie deputy speaker bi mu ngi noonu taxaw di welcome nga xamante ne mooy His Excellency Adama Barrow mu dugg si house bi right now mi Adama Barrow moo nekk di ñëw noonu pour waxtaan ak réew mi pour adresse réew mi ñu maintain jàmm ak yokkute ak achievement yi nga xamante ne nguuram def na ko ci 2023 bi nga xamante ne at bu jot ci constitution bi dafa am parti bi nga xamante ne président bi dafa ñëw dugg waxtaan ak nga xamante ne ñooy pencum ndawi réew mi jaarale ko ñu ñëw ci askan bi su ko defee ñëpp ñu waxtaanee ko ñu teg affaire yi si table bi su ko defee ñu ajos ko xoolaat ko seetaat ko yi nga xamante ne nit na ñu approuve ko yi nga xamante ne dem na ñu taxaw seetlu ko ay sax ñu taxaw seetluwaat ko soo xool si président bi defee state of the nation address ba pare dañ dee vote kan
Good morning, Your Excellency. Head of honor, mounted by the Gambia Armed Forces, 6 officers and 19 ordnance in Opunada, ready for your inspection, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. That is the arrival of His Excellency the President, and after honoring the guard of honor, His Excellency the President is now shaking hands with the National Assembly members and, of course, some of the employees at the Assembly, and then have a photo session first before going inside. So, dama ko gis ngeen noonu ñu gis His Excellency President tey nag mu ngi sol xaftaan bu waay.
ba pare Sidi Ndiaye sax xaftaan bu waaj na sol depuis speaker sax moom tamit lu waaj la sol muy wane jàmm ndaxte Gambia réewum jàmm la jàmm rek a fi xew président bi dugg na mu ngi noonu di jël nataal ak ñi nga xamante ne ñooy National Assembly members yi muy pencum ndawi réew mi nga xam ne seen gox ñoo leen fi teg lii nag at bu jot la saa yu ñëwee foog ñu am si pàcc bi nga xamante ne dinañ jël nataal groupe photo bu nga xamante ne président bi dina ko bokk ak pencum ndawi réew mi su ko defee boobu nekk li nga xamante ne souvenir la ci state of the national address bi la bokk jëwel yaa ngi noonu ay sa di display gis nañ fans club bi tamit ñu ngi noonu mu nekk lu am solo te lii nag nekk bési mbégte ak bési kontaan fii ci réew mi.
Yung president o dumaling natin ang kaptari ko llegado po ng sa Palasan ano yung National Assembly members o banyo kung yung kanyang program po na bedok ko na dyan na Amerika kanyang kanatalo ko na dyan na bedok ko na ito katala speech na
president wala pare dal di ko ay alhamdulillah mashallah abe ñaari mbakele no anana fendu mi yaran ka ko kayro sabatindi min kita ñim fem pino kaftan koy baka tamodi ngalo ko wala dal anim kumol mi nalo libe kala kayro le because mu sample de kay tandi ko ha fembe stock no mi yalo mashallah ning gamino yama be diala because pare yo itandile so and then ku jamal le be ko ma dal mi yale ñanta kanal barnal fulo daga Gambian Talents TV jube dron mba be bondi la ko ma ñanta ka tama ja ñami ala minister fana be bending ka fo ku mbal fana be jana le blodi ñola jang be double su sala ñoy so ngalon ko dal bi pour bente jang man sa du ben le be jang to nal lafta fa fen kanal dang pour na kumol di ala ñanta ka mil moy stick with Gambian Talents TV mba kumol be sama la be ñami ngata dal be kere.
Thank you very much. So we now hand it over to our technical team, and then we will listen to the address of the president. Then we will come back here and, probably we will see some changes as well, some improvement, and some of the policies and programs that he has in store for the Gambian people for the next 1 year.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliament for the welfare of society and just government of men. We beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this land. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner to promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our church. Amen. Communication from the chair. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic, my Lord, the Chief Justice of the Gambia, former Speakers and Deputy Speakers of the National Assembly, Honorable Deputy Speaker and members of this August Assembly, Honorable Cabinet Ministers here in present, former members of the National Assembly, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, regional governors, Lord Mayors, and chairpersons of area councils, leaders of political parties, Secretary General and head of the civil service, and all senior government officials, service chiefs, vulnerable religious leaders, distinguished guests, the press, all other protocols duly observed. Honorable members, in accordance with Section 77(1) of the 1997 Constitution and Clause 24(1) of the Standing Orders, His Excellency, Mr. Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, is here today to attend and address the sitting of the National Assembly on the condition of the Gambia, the policies of the government, and the administration of the state for the 2023 legislative year. In this regard, I wish to extend on behalf of both sides of the Assembly a warm welcome to His Excellency the President for the National Assembly. Honorable members.
Point of order,
Point of
Mr.
order.
Speaker. Point of order.
Point of order. Yes, honorable member. Minority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I'm standing on Order 17H of the Standing Orders. That is, clapping shall not be permitted in the chambers.
So, thank you, honorable member. Sustained gallery. We don't usually clap in Parliament. You see parliamentarians, they tap on their tables to express gratitude. Honorable members, His Excellency's presence in this assembly today is significant in our parliamentary calendar. It will enable honorable members of the legislature to have the opportunity to hear from the head of the executive, that's the president, on the condition of the Gambia, the policies of his government, and the administration of the state. Honorable members, this year marks the President's second State of the Nation address to the 6th legislature in our democratic dispensation. Traditionally, this particular sitting of the Assembly attracts Gambians and people from all walks of life. Therefore, on behalf of both sides of the Assembly, I welcome you all. On that note, honorable members, I wish once again welcome His Excellency the President to the National Assembly in fulfillment of his constitutional mandate. I thank you. Clerk, can we proceed?
Motion
State of the Nation Address 2023 by His Excellency the President of the Republic of.
Honorable members, I have the singular honor and privilege to invite His Excellency Mr. Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, to deliver his address. Your Excellency.
Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, honorable members of the National Assembly, Your Excellency, the Vice members of the Council Corps, distinguished personalities, ladies and gentlemen. I always look forward to my annual peace over because it offers us to interact formally as a constitutional and informally as fellow citizens and complementary partners in the cause of national development. In view of our mandates within the arms of government, we do not only represent the interests and aspirations of our people, but also form three distinct but unified and inseparable parts of the government machinery. The need for cooperation is therefore obvious. Mr. Speaker, my address is mistakenly perceived as an activity report. Let me explain that it is a precise outline of how my government fared during the 2023 legislative year, with highlights provided on key milestones, setbacks, plans, and legislative matters of direct importance to this Assembly. Government channels its development endeavors to the public sectors and policies, projects, and programs they execute. My deliberation centers on such interventions, as well as bilateral and multilateral engagements and events of operational matters, management, and administrative functions are given prominence, except where they have a direct bearing on my administration's performance or have consequences of national interest. Elaborate details in the content of my address are readily available from the sectors. National development, especially in countries, cannot be discussed without reference to the pressure that global events and trends bring to bear on low nations. To do so means using context and environment what we do as human beings. Unforeseen circumstances, challenges, sometimes national efforts. Reference will be made to these circumstances briefly. I ask that you bear them in mind as you review my government's achievements during the year under review. As customary, the address focuses on sectors, and I will begin with the finance and economic affairs sector as a basis for what follows. Finance and economic affairs. Honorable Speaker, Gambia relies heavily in imports for consumption of basic commodities commodities, including wheat and from Ukraine. This means that the disruption in supply chain, which lead to shortages in supply, translated into strong inflationary pressures on the economy. As at end December 2022, inflation stood at 13.7%, from an initial projection of 5%. Generally, global inflation has significantly reduced the real incomes of people abroad. As a result, the Gambian economy faces reduced private revenues and lower tourist arrivals, despite the strong recovery footings reported in 2022. This will continually worsen the negative impact in growth experience in 2020 onwards. Revenue performance during the year clearly highlights the negative effect of the crisis. Total domestic revenue collection in 2022 declined by 10% at the same period in 2021. Comparison of revenue performance in 2022 and 2023 between January and April shows that domestic taxes have increased 5% in the period, while customs and excise taxes increased by 2% over the same period. The increase in global prices put pressure on government and forced us to subsidize fuel to lower the high pump prices. This had a negative impact on domestic revenue utilization in 2022 national. With less attention on COVID-19, infrastructure development activities resumed and will remain priority. In addition to the rural roads projects implemented by works and infrastructure, road expansion and OIC-related projects the country prepares to host the OIC summit by December this year. Capital expenditure will therefore persist to contribute greatly to total expenditure. Apart from the government's commitment to the medium-term economic fiscal framework 2023-2026 to improve micro-fiscal stability, the new Green Recovery Plan has cabinet approval and preparations are underway to launch it. The plan outlines key national priorities across the sectors and will guide development interventions in the medium term. It also mainstreams Sustainable Development Goals, SD, African Union, AU 2063, and ECOWAS Vision 2030, and will set the resource to finance the RF. International Monetary Fund IMF team visits the Gambia, conduct a diagnostic exercise of the country's governance and corruption vulnerabilities. My administration for the progress achieved so far, bringing various in line with best practices, and they shared useful observations with us. Since 2017, Gambia has engaged in governance reforms across our institutions. These include enactment of new laws, such as the 2018 Central Bank, the Access to Information Law 2021, and the Public Procurement Act 2022. Along these lines, bills developed include those on anti-corruption, anti-money laundering, countering the financing of terrorism, as well as those on public finances, state-owned enterprises, and banking. All these are meant to contribute to the achievement of our national goals and targets. Also related to economic growth and management are action taken to modernize revenue collection. For example, digitalization and automation in significant achievement, rolling out the GRA automated system on data overall, and the ongoing efforts to develop an e-procurement platform with joint upscale revenue generation development. Furthermore, my government has brought the banking sector regulatory and supervisory framework closer to international standards. With this, we look to more significant economic development prospects despite the current global crisis and setbacks containment. Agriculture. Mr. Speaker, the agriculture sector is strongly committed to strengthening its policy, environment, and program implementation efforts. In this respect, emerging challenges will be persistently addressed through new and initiatives. To provide examples of such undertakings, national fertilizer policy has been formulated and validated, and the development plan is at an advanced stage. These policies seek to enhance fertilizer access and targets subsidy benefits for greater production. In pursuit of commercial farming, the sector will promote mechanized land preparation by supplying labor-saving machines, since harvesting is among the least mechanized production activities target commodity. Investment will increase to mechanize the harvesting of cereal and stimulate into mechanical tracing. My administration is also enhancing the capacity of breeders and introducing Gambian farmers to fortified soft and high-yielding varieties that are resistant to the adverse effects of climate change. Using PPP models, we will foster the establishment of processing companies, establish processing and production systems. Hopefully, these interventions will generate employment and market value promotion. There will be incentive-based risk-sharing system for agricultural. Minister of Agriculture has initiated the incentive-based risk-sharing agricultural lending facility to improve access to finance by de-risking lending in the agriculture sector. Project will collaborate with financial institutions to avail farmers and value chain actors of the needed finance to transform food system. The LEP project and inclusive strategy will contribute to access barriers, credit for actors along the agriculture value chains and beneficiary access through a risk-sharing mechanism. Communication and digital economy. Honorable Speaker, the creation of the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy affirms the government's desire for rapid digital transformation and utilization of ICT's socio-economic policy matters. The Ministry is developing a holistic digital economy policy strategy to provide sound guidelines in view of the new orientation and increased prioritization of digitalization. It's also formulating a comprehensive digital economy master plan with European Union. Currently, the process of developing a cloud and an policy and regulatory framework to this important initiative has begun. The scoping exercise for the process successfully in November 2022. As part of digitalization of our government administrative system, an email policy this year encourage and promote the use of government emails and email platforms for effective implementation of digital government initiative. The policy will center transition routes into a more formal and inter-government communications network for more efficient resolution. Preparation of a communication bill contains provisions to ensure a level playing field for all stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, cybercrime bill, data protection and privacy bill will be tabled here during the course of this legislative year. This bill will instill confidence and security for the safe use of digital systems and services, as well as combat crime and criminal activities online. Development of a critical information infrastructure policy and a national management, conservation, and the development of the sector. The remaining $15 million serves as financial compensation to access. Mr. Speaker, major reforms are progressing to lead to more efficient management of the country's water resources in conformity with the integrated water resources management principles. In this vein, the Gambia Water Bill 2020 is available for enactment to replace the National Water Resources Council Act of 1979. Through support from the government of Japan, 20 additional solar-powered pipe water supply system for installation in 2020-2023 will serve 80,000 people in our rural communities. The project is ongoing and it is scheduled to end by December 2023. Gender, children, and social welfare. Mr. Speaker, a range of new policies developed by this sector guide the strategic development efforts and program activities of the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Welfare. On program implementation, the Women Enterprise Fund introduced in 2020 has benefited more than 93,000 women entrepreneurs, with $68 million disbursed to 628 women groups. The recovery rate during the past 3 years stands at 75% and 53% respectively for the first and second disbursements. In 2023, about 550 women groups will be reached countrywide through the same arrangements. The Sahel Women Economic Empowerment Project, which is at its preparatory stage, will be implemented throughout the country from 2024 to 2026. The project is to economically empower women and girls through entrepreneurship and livelihood skills training. It will also support in-school girls to complete grade 12 and women to access relevant information and reproductive health services. It is a World Bank funded project. To further enhance the legal environment for the welfare of children, the sector has submitted the revised draft of the 2005 Children Act to the Justice Ministry for review. They have also finalized the development of an integrated and inclusive children's policy. Basic, secondary education, Mr. Speaker. To make education readily accessible to children from poor families as well as rural communities, my government uses resources from both the domestic budget and development partners to provide innovative ways of reaching underserved areas. In this regard, a significant surge in enrollment has been registered at all levels of the school system. Specifically, early childhood and development enrollment increased from 126,573 in 2021 to 130,952 in 2022. While in lower basic school enrollment increased respectively from 401,333 in 2021 to 414,477 in 2022. Similarly, upper basic school enrollment increased from 119,405 in 2022 to 123,081 in 2022. And senior secondary school enrollment increased from 76,537 to 78,706. These are significant increases. To meet the increasing demand for education, my government increased the number of schools for all levels from 3,426 to 3,518 between 2021 and 2022. To ensure quality education delivery, we consistently train teachers for both basic and secondary schools. Through these training packages, a significant increase in the number of qualified teachers is evident at all levels of the school system. At the early childhood development level, for example, the trained facilitators increased from 3,018 in 2021 to 3,283 in 2022. At the lower basic level, the trained and qualified teachers increased from 10,614 to 11,302 between 2021 and 2022. Similar trends exist at the upper and senior secondary school level, showing an increase from 5,787 to 5,881 and 3,211 to 3,394 respectively. As a result of all the investments in both access and the quality of education delivered, the number of students attending 0 credits or 0 passes in the West African Senior Secondary School examination dropped significantly from 1,477 to 884 between 2021 and 2022. This represents a percentage drop from 9.4% to 5.91%. The drop in the fail rate corresponds with the education policy target of making sure that every WAF student goes home with a certificate. At the upper basic level, the number of students attending 0 passes or aggregate 54 in the Gambia Basic Education Certificate Examination dropped from 2,044 to 1,962, translating into a percentage drop from 8 to 7%. On the other hand, students attending aggregate 6 increased from 19 to 31 during the same period. Furthermore, the number of students with the government pass mark of aggregate 42 and below for entry to senior secondary schools improved from 47.2% in 2021 to 49.7% in 2022. Despite all these gains, my administration remains committed to better education. To this end, a teacher competency assessment piloted in 2020 and 2021 has been rolled out. The assessment ensures that teachers who graduate from the Gambia College at diploma and advanced diploma levels have the basic standards, competence, and content knowledge to be recruited to teach in public schools. We are collaborating productively with our development partners, and I thank them most sincerely for their laudable support. Through such partnerships, 2,597 new 16 toilet kibbles in the madrasa and conventional schools were built within the last 5 years. 1,549 classrooms were rehabilitated during the same period, and 10 schools were identified for complete renovation in 2022. 498 classrooms and 556 toilet kibbles are currently under construction. Finally, because teacher factors contribute to performance, the sector has built 1,076 rooms countrywide for teacher accommodation. There are plans to increase the number significantly to ease accommodation challenges for teachers and motivate them for better output. Higher education, research, science, and technology. Honorable Speaker, the tertiary and higher education sector remains committed to equitable access to quality tertiary and higher education for all Gambians, as well as promoting and strengthening research, science, innovation, and technology in the Gambia. In this direction, its transformation program is on course. In line with the new focus on Tibet, through its strategic plan 2021-2025, and in collaboration with its partners, the ministry is expanding access to Tibet programs. In this respect, the University of Applied Science, Engineering, and Technology will dually provide higher education and Tibet programs. My administration provides scholarships and financial assistance to needy and deserving students to undergo training programs both within and outside the country. At the UTG alone, over 1,600 students are on government scholarships, and over 500 students from other tertiary institutions benefit from government scholarships. This is in addition to the 85 bachelor's degree students in engineering at USHEP. The government, through the ministry, has allocated over $100 million for scholarships and financial assistance to deserving students. Additionally, the ministry plans to implement a student loan scheme for this year and for more students to access higher education programs. Interior, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Interior, in partnership with the International Organization for Migration, the Gambia, and with funding from the Switzerland Federal Department of Foreign Affairs, has launched the Assisted Voluntary Return and Reintegration Capacity Building Project for the Gambia. The project aims to strengthen the capacity of about 40 government officials directly involved in migrants' return and reintegration in the country by equipping them with the needed skills and resources to manage return and reintegration processes. Honorable members, the Ministry of Interior is establishing a peace-building unit and creating regional and national councils for peace and social cohesion as recommended by the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission. The Infrastructure for Peace 14P project will strengthen the capacity of the state and other existing agencies for peace and collaborative dialogue while reducing the likelihood of current and future threats in peace in the Gambia in a sustainable manner. Mr. Speaker, there is a decrease in number of crimes recorded in the third quarter of 2022. It decreased by 12.6% compared to the third quarter of 2021. At a total of 1,426 cases were reported in the third quarter of 2021, while in the third quarter of 2022, 1,247 cases were registered. We commend the police for this remarkable decrease, but urge them to lower the rate much further. In a bid to enact a new Immigration Service Act, an Immigration Service Bill was submitted to the Ministry of Justice for their input. After its validation and submission to Cabinet, it will be brought to this August Assembly. Revenue collection. The Gambia Immigration Department collected $104,407,130 from January to December 2022, as opposed to $103,362,940 in 2021. Increase is slight due to the global economic situation, but revenue collection will improve much better this year. The key achievements of the Immigration Department was the development of a standard operating procedures SOP and its official launch in November 2022. The primary objective of the SOP is for handling of smuggling of migrant cases in the country. The procedure supports the department and stakeholders to understand better smuggling of migrants and its legal implications and legislative arrangements. The legal and judiciary sector. Legal reparation bill to create an independent body to administer reparations for victims. This will cover all victims of human rights violations, not leaving out the victims of April 10 and 11. In 2022, several acts were enacted, such as the Disabilities Act, the Gambia Public Procurement Authority Act. Meanwhile, the bill is with this August Assembly for consideration. My government also approved the Gambia Prisons Amendment Bill 2023 to help establish the Gambia Prison Service and the Gambia Prison Service Council to regulate the prisons. Furthermore, the sector is working on the constitutional review process. The process is guided by relevant legal and legislative considerations at our national interests. For now, it is essential to determine the necessary legislative amendments to support the next phase of the review process. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Justice appointed 12 state councils in the beginning of this year. The objective is to decentralize legal services by designating some of the state councils to various regions of the Gambia. This is to provide speedy and accessible justice delivery service to the public. Turning to the judiciary subsector, 11,568 new cases were filed across all the courts and tribunals in the country in 2022. This represents a significant increase of 30% on the 8,882 cases for 2021. Altogether, 6,800 cases were representing 58% were disposed of, thus making an increase of 1,978 out of the 4,822 cases disposed of in 2021. As reported during the last legal year celebration, the judiciary is doing very well and has regained public confidence, hence the increase in the new cases. We encourage them to keep up the momentum. Public service, administrative reform, policy coordination, and delivery. Mr. Speaker, the new Ministry of Public Service, Administrative Reforms, Policy Coordination, and Delivery is mandated to undertake overall oversight of the implementation of public service policies and programs of the Gambia. Since its inception, the ministry has been working on strengthening the foundational human resource management policies, practices, and data to reduce manual processes. The process is to result in improved human resource management, increased reliability, and transparency of human resource data. These are necessary for subsequently digitalized human resource processes and data processing. The current ministry is working with the World Bank to upscale the effectiveness and expand the functionalities of government systems for engagement with citizens on processing complaints. Mr. Speaker, the Department of Strategy, Policy and Delivery Service, as the technical unit of the Ministry of Public Service, and also the Secretariat of the National Economic Council, regularly provide support to my office. Motion to transform the public service and make it more efficient and effectively responsive to the needs of the nation. As a new development, the ministry is arranging to hold civil servants accountable and maintain punctuality and discipline at work. Also, my office has signed performance contract with state-owned enterprises to monitor service delivery. The Ministry of Finance undertook the initial monitoring exercise for the first quarter of 2023, with focus on GNPC, GPPC, GGC, and GAMPOS are scheduled to sign a performance contract each by June 20. Yeah. These moves indicate my government's preparedness to set public service delivery targets. Such accountability tools are signposts for the implementation of our national development plan, and they need to be implemented in collaboration with all ministries, departments, and government agencies. Transport, works, and infrastructure. Honorable Speaker, despite the post-COVID-19 recovery challenges, the transport, works, and infrastructure sector registered impressive results during the period under review. The sector steadfastly focused on road construction, resurfacing, reconstruction, upgrading to asphalt standards, and rehabilitation of selected roads across the country. To mention examples, the reconstruction of the Kerewan-Jawara Road to bituminous standards is in progress and stands at 90% completion. 60% of the 86-kilometer paved roads in the Nyomi-Hakalang area has been complete. Lot 1 of the North Bank Road is complete, and Lot 2 is 65% complete. They are 102 kilometers long. The construction of the Kiang West Road is ongoing, with the completion status of the 39 kilometers of the paved road at 71%. In a similar development, the government recently secured funding from the Saudi Fund for Development, equal to $50 million to construct 50 kilometers of roads in the Greater Banjul area. Works on this project are ongoing. From the Kuwaiti Fund for Arab Economic Development, Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, and the Islamic Development Bank, government secured $79.8 million to upgrade the Baden-Haden Highway into a 3-lane dual carriageway of 22 kilometers. It stretches from Yundum to Sitting Corner. 55% of the civil works is complete. My administration now plans to upgrade 1,200 kilometers of selected roads in the next 5 years. And this year, the ministry will construct a length of 345 kilometers across the country. Like the new Basse main market, I am glad to state that the fourth phase of the Brikama market is complete and was inaugurated in March of this year. Phase 2 is at the tender stage. The Public Building Facilities Management Bill is with this August Assembly for consideration to develop and promote policies and regulations for effective management of government estate. Mr. Speaker, formal negotiations are ongoing to improve the ports and to build a new one. The Technical Committee on the new ports has submitted its report to the Ministerial Committee for their review, consideration, and onward submission to Cabinet for advice. On air traffic analysis of actual figures for 2022 indicate that 359,909 passengers were handled at the Banjul International Airport, which shows an increase of 44.3% over the previous year. Projections suggest that this upward trend will persist. Tourism and culture. Mr. Speaker, the National Council for Arts and Culture is working with UNESCO on a regulation for the National Endowment Fund for Arts. When established, the fund will finance various cultural and artistic activities, which is useful for the tourism sector. The draft regulation is ready for validation and thereafter submission to Cabinet. To boost tourism, and position the Gambia as a homecoming hub for our African brothers and sisters in the diaspora. The Gambia will observe the bicentenary anniversary of the occupation of Georgetown, McCarthy Island by British and the subsequent arrival of the liberated Africans on the island. The festival will take place in the second quarter of this year. With relief, tourism is growing again steadily. According to the submissions from the GT board, tourist arrivals pick up over the years from 89,232 in 2020 to 102,460 in 2021 and 182,795 in 2022. Arrival from our traditional markets increased, except from the 10% drop from Denmark. Arrival from the non-traditional markets increased by 47%. That is 10,908 tourists, compared to the same period in 2021. The sector projects 206,558 tourists this year, if all goes well. It is encouraging, Mr. Speaker, that the tourism sector has so far recorded 95% graduate employment out of 400 annual graduates from the Gambia Tourism and Hospitality Institute. An expansion program in the tourism and hospitality training upcountry in partnership with the International Trade Center under the YEP project is earmarked for this year. Over 500 young Gambians will participate in various programs to build capacity and create employment opportunities. Trade, industry, regional integration, and employment. Honorable Speaker. This sector is focusing on improving the business environment, promoting private sector investment, supporting micro, small, and medium enterprises for trade development, employment creation, and strengthening bilateral and multilateral trade cooperation. For regulation purposes, the sector has reviewed and updated the Labour Act 2007. The draft bill is awaiting a third reading by this August body. Its enactment will bring our labor laws to ILO standard and facilitate labor administration in the country. It will also encourage employment. To strengthen labor administration, the sector is revising the Injuries Compensation and Factories Act. It will be submitted to this Assembly ultimately. In November 2022, I launched the National Employment Policy and Action Plan, NEAP, 2022-2027, to reduce unemployment decisively. The Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration, and Employment has established a National Employment Technical Committee set for inauguration. It compromises public, private sector, and development partners together with civil society for implementation of the NEAP. The committee will report to a cabinet subcommittee on employment. This demonstrates commitment at the highest level of government to address unemployment and underemployment, and by extension, poverty. The policy targets creating at least 150,000 jobs in 5 years. Regarding consumer and competition culture, a technical committee is revising the Competition Act 2007 and the Consumer Protection Act 2014 for effective enforcement of the Act and promotion of a competition culture in the economy. The administration will continually conduct market studies into the essential commodities and look into expired products as well as the pharmaceutical sector. Besides protecting consumer rights, a major objective of this undertaking is to curb anti-competitive practices amid the current supply chain challenges and surging prices. In the same vein, to enhance fair trade and rationalize prices, especially of essential commodities, my government has resolved to streamline and rationalize the national measurement system. The ministry has completed the necessary legal framework, so I urge the Assembly to approve the Legal Methodology Bill 2022 for immediate implementation. Mr. Speaker, 10 out of 17 international companies, GAIPA granted and SIC, have started operations. 6 are now establishing their company infrastructure, but 1 company is yet to start operations. The planned investments from these companies amount to 70 million US dollars, with an estimated 2,130 jobs created when all the companies are fully operational. The Gambia remains active in phase 2 negotiation of the AFCFTA, and we have prepared draft tariff schedules through a consultative process. The tariff offers covering 90% tariff for the liberation, 7% tariff for sensitive products, and 3% tariff for inclusion have been submitted to the AFCFTA Secretariat. The Ministry will embark on a sensitization mission as defined in the communication strategy to raise awareness on the AFCFTA, update the National Trade Policy 2024-2029, and develop the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act Utilization Strategy 2023-2028. Youth and sports, Mr. Speaker. The young people are the most productive segment of society and thus are stakeholders in the national development process. They face substantial barriers, however, in their quest to be productive and empowered citizens of the country. Insufficient access to knowledge, information, and strategic education is one of barriers making them less competitive at both the national and international levels. In this respect, the Youth and Sports Ministry is devising strategic initiatives to increase support to the youth and their areas of development, especially sports. To achieve this, the development levy established within the framework of the NDP 2018-2021 dedicated to the sector is to develop a responsive development roadmap for implementation. In sports, the Gambia is doing very well in various competitions. Football, athletics, beach volleyball, and martial arts are typical examples. I congratulate our sports persons and officials on their successes. The under-20 football team, most notably inclusive. The government will remain solidly supportive of the sector. Mr. Speaker, several bills and acts are under review to enhance the legal environment for youth and sports advancement. They are the Youth Bill and the Sports Bill, the NYSS Act 2015, PIA Act 2015, and NEDI Act 2013. The Ministry will table these legal instruments before this August Assembly for consideration. Furthermore, with the support of the Commonwealth Secretariat, the sector will develop a new sports policy 2023-2032. Apart from intensifying and expanding the NYSS apprenticeship training program to reach out to many more young people, the mandatory National Youth Service Program targeting university graduates is under consideration for implementation. Foreign affairs, international cooperation, and Gambians abroad. Honorable Speaker, my government remains obliged to pursuing a foreign policy anchored on the promotion of our national interests, respect for sovereignty, and the territorial integrity of nations. We will scale up strategic bilateral cooperation and partnership arrangements aimed at complementing national efforts in pursuit of our development objective. Our foreign policy remains forging more collaborative efforts on the international scene based on our shared principles and values, strengthening partnerships across the globe, and active participation in relevant regional and other international organizations. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs draft Foreign Service Bill and regulation respectively are near completion. It is hoped that these documents will further strengthen the institutional framework of the sector and ensure achievement of our national desired goals and objectives. Land, regional government, and religious affairs. Mr. Speaker, at present, Mr. Speaker, the Lands Ministry is developing a national land policy with support from the World Bank. The policy will, among other issues, cover land-related conflicts, security of title, protection of the right to land, especially for women and children, and efficient land management. It will eventually be subjected to cabinet review. Closely related to addressing youth and women matters within the sector is the Job, Skills, and Finance Program for Women and Youth in the Gambia. It is a 4-year initiative funded by the European Union through the United Nations Capital Development Fund, UNCDF, at a tune of 15.2 million euros. The program aims to contribute to stabilizing the economy, social and security situation of the country by facilitating the social inclusion and employment of youth and women. In the Gambia, the non-governmental organization NGO Affairs Agency oversees NGO activities. The agency was established in 1996 through Degree 81. A new NGO bill is now at an advanced stage to improve NGO operations in the country. Meanwhile, out of 126 registered NGOs, 87 renewed their status in 2022. 21 were deregistered based on non-compliance issues. 1 phased out, and 6 are yet to renew their status. Information, Mr. Speaker. The new Ministry of Information has shown unprecedented readiness to pay more attention to the development of the information value chain through fresh initiatives. The ministry is, for instance, collaborating with USAID to formulate a medium-term strategy 2023-2028. This strategy plan is expected to consolidate democratic pluralism and will link neatly with the Access to Information Act 2021, ATI 21. The ministry will appoint information commissioners and establish an information commission secretariat for the realization of the ATTI 21 objectives. The act represents an enviable milestone in our democratization process and services as a vivid symbol of the leadership's commitment to universal access to information. Importantly also, the Information and Communication Act 2009 will give way to the Information Bill 2023 as a means of repositioning the Ministry of Information. In addition, the Personal Data Protection and Privacy Bill 2023 has been reviewed, finalized, and submitted for cabinet approval. Once approved, the document will be forwarded to this August Assembly for appropriate action. Aside from this, with the assistance of the UNESCO Regional Office in Dakar, the information sector has developed a policy on community media sustainability to strengthen the modalities and conditions for stable income generation and long-term sustainability of the media community. Office of the Vice President, Mr. Speaker. The National Population Commission Secretariat, as the coordinating authority for the National Population Policy and Program, is currently at the advanced stage of developing a new national population policy. The policy seeks to address population trends and dynamics in relation to sustainable socio-economic and environmental development. The population policy is also aimed at improving the quality of life of everyone, especially the most vulnerable. The UNFPA country program and the World Bank deserve commendation for their sustained support to the Secretariat. Honorable members, following Cabinet's approval of the National Nutrition Policy 2021-2025 in December 2021, the National Nutrition Agency, with technical and financial support from UNICEF and the World Food Programme, formulated a multi-sectoral nutrition strategy plan in 2022. The plan is designed to guide implementation of all nutrition and nutrition-related programs and activities in the country up to 2025. In view of my government priorities as outlined in the National Development Plan in 2022, the National Nutrition Agency and partners continue implementation of the NAFA program.
Udon nan bi dafa top tay bi dafa top tay dama mat lan mo ma gën you come mark you kay ko man ci dëkk ala bi laaj nga bo benn daal bi nit ñi dañ day ñëw rek benn pot bi rek lañ jëy ko rek naan rek
of an updated policy and its accompanying strategy to address emerging challenges. The Gambia is a member of the Africa Risk Capacity and will benefit from a payout of $187,641 from this body. It is to support districts affected by a drought in 2022 due to late planting. The regions are specified in the Africa Risk View report. In December 2022, the Food Safety and Quality Authority validated the first national food safety policy with support from the European Union project and the World Bank, the World Health Organization. The document clarifies government's position on food safety and quality interventions and set out implementation measures of the country's food safety system. Petroleum and energy. Honorable Speaker, the energy sector remains my government priority, and we will steadfastly mobilize resources for its transformation. Also, we will maintain our relationship and work with all relevant partners for the successful implementation of the electricity roadmap. The roadmap calls for universal electrification by 2025, integration of variable renewables, and investment in low-cost generation options. At the heart of this process is the National Water and Electricity Company, NEWEC, which is being restructured for operational viability and sustainability. At the moment, the consequent project components managed by NEWEC include the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project, ECOWAS Regional Electricity Access Project, the Gambia Electricity Access Project, Nationally Appropriate Mitigation Actions-Based Rural Electrification with Renewable Energy Project, AFD Water Supply Project in the Greater Banjul area, the OIC Water Project, and the EEP Gambia Project. All these are designed to feed into the overall strategy of attaining universal access to electricity in the country. It is not surprising that the petroleum industry is affected by the impact of COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war. It is also been impacted by the global agenda on energy transition, while the search for oil is ongoing. Therefore, my government remains committed to affordable fuel provision for the population, and we are cushioning the price hikes through subsidies. Meanwhile, among other strategies, the Gambia National Petroleum Corporation is leading the nationwide charge through the expansion of its fuel stations outlets and partnership for expanded storage capacity. Health, Mr. Speaker. As the country recovers from the havoc of the coronavirus pandemic, the Gambia health system continues to build resilience for better healthcare service provision for the people. Key interventions include the rolling out of the National Health Insurance Scheme and the ongoing construction of a modern National Emergency Treatment Center, a blood transfusion center, a reference laboratory, and a training center in Farad. They will have up-to-date modern equipment to handle health emergencies and advanced diagnosis. Plans are afoot to complete the master plan for a new technical hospital in Farad. Linked to drugs and food safety, my government is resolute about providing high-quality medicine that meets local and international standards. To achieve this, a high-quality laboratory complex is under construction in Brusubi to test imported food and drugs for safety. In addition, the health sector is piloting an electronic logistic management information system to track all medicines procured by government and other parties. Through the Ministry of Health, we are set to open 5 new state-of-the-art health centers in 5 strategic locations across the country. These facilities, which will be fully equipped with equipment and supplies, are funded by the Gambia government. Environment, climate change, and natural resources, Honorable Speaker. To adopt and build resilience to the adverse effects of climate change, the government, through the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change, and Natural Resources, has developed a climate change vision 2050 and its long-term climate neutral development strategy 2050. The strategy was published by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in September 2022. These are part of a comprehensive framework to meaningfully guide the country's climate change mitigation interventions. The sector personnel are now working with the International Institute for Environment and Development to implement the Gambia, the Least Developed Countries Initiative for effective adaptation and resilience project. It is geared towards ensuring that 70% of climate finance reaches the intended communities. With 4 other countries, the Gambia will benefit from an initial disbursement of 20 million British pounds donated by the government of Canada for the first phase of the program. As a project of $45 million under the West Africa Coastal Area Management, funded by the World Bank, was also approved in December 2022 for the Gambia. The project is meant to reduce climate-related disasters such as flooding in the urban area. Correspondingly, a 6.9 million euros project funded by the French Development Agency was approved late last year. Its main objective is to support 5 marine protected areas and the communities around them. The ministry looks forward to this year to enacting the Biodiversity Wildlife Bill and the CITES Bill. They are at the Ministry of Justice for legal review. In the same vein, review of the Biodiversity and Wildlife Policy and the National Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan 2015-2020 has commenced. Further, the wetland policy will be developed and efforts step up to fulfill the Gambia's international obligations. In the meantime, Cabinet recently approved the National Forestry Policy 2023-2032 for sustainable management and protection of our forest lands and resources through partnerships with stakeholders. In fulfilling government's obligation of domesticating international laws and conventions and to strengthen the sector's management and regulatory frameworks, 3 important bills have been formulated, namely the National Environment Management Bill, the Chemical Control and Management Bill, and the Waste Management Bill. They are under review for submission to this Assembly thereafter. On general environmental quality regulation and management. To enhance the well-being of Gambians, I have reintroduced the voluntary monthly national cleansing exercise, settle. I urge everyone to take it seriously and participate in it. In view of the alarming rate of coastal erosion and other environmental concerns, my administration will adopt measures to promote the integrated approach to coastal zone management and address emerging challenges. The enactment of the Integrated Coastal Zone Management Bill will strengthen these measures. This is one of other proposed or ongoing programs and frameworks within the sector. Mr. Speaker, concluding remarks. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the National Assembly, the Gambia has transitioned through a national socio-political crisis brought about by undemocratic tendencies to a chain of global crises that have a telling effect on the nation's well-being, economy, and development prospects. Consequently, the evolution of my administration over these years is marked by implementation of unplanned but pragmatic crisis management strategies, alongside a determined and successful execution of well-defined and impactful national initiatives. Grave as the situation may be, my government has successfully risen to both national and international challenges to register remarkable achievements in various aspects of nation building. Infrastructure development, social services, digitalization, production, vulnerable groups, particularly women, the youth, and the physically challenged, employment, trade, food security, and energy are among the many issues that my administration gives sustained attention and priority. All of them feature vividly in my address. Our focus will strategically be on the people in order to build on our achievements. Indeed, 2022 was eventful, particularly for the legislature, as it led to the composition of the diverse assembly we have today. The loss of a vice president, 70 innocent children, and other dear citizens are among the tragic events of the year. We pray that the departed souls continue to rest in peace. Potentially, like all other nations, we have our share of global concerns over internal security and crime, living costs, stability, employment, public service, and productivity. Nonetheless, the critical factor that threatens peace and development most is disunity. As I always observe, we may belong to different political parties, religious faiths, or other social groupings, but we must unite as a nation to realize our national targets. Honorable members, the core mandates of the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary are interlocked and require that we work together in harmony. No person is an island, and no unit in an interlinked structure can function in isolation. Once we have a common goal, such as the development and progress of the people we serve, there will always be the need to unite and a path to do so. Fortunately, we subscribe to democracy and can collectively rally around its principles to match our programs in the national interest. That is, if we sincerely commit ourselves to standing by the people and acting on their behalf. Certainly, if democracy is not regarded merely as a political tool to gain advantage over others, but applied as a transformative social construct, our communities, institutions, and the nation will fare better, and we will all live in peace. The local council elections provided the nation with a global opportunity to put these democratic principles into concrete action and rise once again on the global political landscape. We have done so remarkably. Again, I congratulate the successful candidates and the whole nation on this laudable achievement. Honorable members, while discharging your duties, I urge you to dialogue and initiate bipartisan collaboration in a positively democratic manner. This would allow you to table issues not exclusively from political party perspective, but from genuine patriotic standpoints and through the people's lenses. The legal framework, policies, and programs developed and mentioned in my address are relevant and potent enough to guide the people to success. Their effective implementation rests on the professional and their action officers. But this assembly and the public have a facilitating role to play in the process. I assure you that the Ministry of Public Service also has all the sector policies and will monitor their implementation. I thank you all and congratulate you on the successful completion of your fourth legislative year. And I encourage you to serve the nation better as legislators, compatriots, colleagues, and family. Mr. Speaker, the occasion accorded me the privilege to thank our development partners, friends, and well-wishers, as well as all those gainfully engaged in the country and the people at large. The sectors have been doing well, and we look forward to greater improvements as time goes by. I thank all of them sincerely. I promise to serve this nation with a clear consent, a clear vision, and a clear, articulated, and realistic development plans and programs. Let us work in harmony to implement them together in our best interests. I wish the Assembly fruitful deliberations and resounding successes in your engagements. God bless us all. Thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, point of order.
Who's raising the point of order?
Honorable Busumbala.
Yes, Honorable Member for Busumbala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on the order 53K.
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Honorable Speaker,
A point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, 50.
A point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker,
Honorable members, honorable members.
I'm on my feet.
Honorable members. Honorable members. Can I hear from the member for Busumbala?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. This is a motion 53 is motion which may be made without notice. Motion without notice.
No. You said point of order. No.
Honorable members.
Point of order.
Honorable members. Honorable members. Please. Honorable members, can we hear the member from Busumbala? Yes, member for Busumbala.
Honorable Speaker, has the democratic dictates and the parliament is the centerpiece for civil engagement, like dialogues and engagement.
Sorry, honorable member. Honorable member, big point of order for the standing order.
Honorable Speaker, order 53. 53K, a motion agreed by the Speaker to make a matter of urgency. Honorable Speaker.
Honorable member. Honorable member. Honorable member. Honorable members. Honorable members. Order.
Other honorable members, I will want to urge all members to exercise patience. The honorable member had a point of order, and it has a process. If you don't allow him put the facts down, how will you judge? He said standing order, he quoted standing order 53K, and the 53K reads, a motion agreed by the speaker to be a matter of urgency. So the honorable member can only put a motion if I agree that it is urgent. And before I agree or disagree, it would have been best for the honorable member to notify me before the session. In the circumstance, I rule it out. Honorable members, we now, any member who wants to second the motion, honorable member for Kantora and majority leader.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I rise to second the motion and thank His Excellency for a marathon speech. Thank you.
Honorable
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Who?
Boy, look, allow me to...
Honorable member for Busumbara.
Honorable Speaker, 53 is a motion without notice. And Honorable Speaker...
No. Honorable member, you are standing on a point of order.
53K. But 53 is a motion without notice. So it can be applicable instantly. You listen to my motion, you either reject it or you allow me to proceed.
All right, honorable members, please, order.
If you did not hear me...
Honorable member, read your standing order. The speaker has made a decision. If that decision for you is not correct, it has a process. It's not a point of order. You do that process, please. You don't point of order that. When I make a judgment and you feel that that judgment probably is not correct, it has another process. You don't say point of order again. Please. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that this August Assembly do consider the motion on the State of the Nation Address 2023 delivered by His Excellency the President of the Republic. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, the consideration and debate proper on the motion so tabled will now be adjourned until Monday, 12th June 2023, to give honorable members ample time to read and digest the said address. But before I adjourn, honorable members, please allow me, on behalf of both sides of the August Assembly, and indeed on my own behalf, thank His Excellency the President of the Republic for his well-articulated and delivered State of the Nation address. Of course, it is a statutory duty, but you will all agree with me that the address deserves commendation for the manner in which it was delivered. The address has indeed outlined the condition of the Gambia, the policies of the government, and the administration of the state as provided for in the Constitution. This Assembly will therefore, in the next few days, reflect and debate on the policy statement so well delivered here in this August Assembly. The statement will also give us an opportunity
to reflect on the achievements and challenges we face as a nation, and the urgent need for national unity, peace, and stability to propel the development needs and aspirations of our dear motherland. As the people's representative, we are charged to do our best to ensure that the policies and programs outlined in His Excellency's address are thoroughly scrutinized and debated with due diligence. It is also important for us to have a clear understanding of the government's policies, development programs, and aspirations. This will provide the National Assembly and its various committees with tools necessary to perform its legislative scrutiny and oversight functions. On that note, Mr. President, I thank you once again for addressing this Assembly. In the same vein, honorable members, I wish to express thanks and gratitude to His Excellency the Vice President, my Lord the Chief Justice, former Speakers and Deputy Speakers of the National Assembly, the Deputy Speaker and honorable members of the National Assembly, Cabinet Ministers, former members of the National Assembly, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, regional governors, Lord Mayors and chairpersons of area councils, leaders of political parties, Secretary General and head of the civil service and all government senior officials, service chiefs, vulnerable religious leaders, the press, and all distinguished invited guests for gracing the solemn occasion in the calendar of the National Assembly. By extension, on behalf of both sides of this August Assembly, I also wish to register our gratitude to all Gambians for the support and collaboration in our collective drive towards nation building. To my colleague, honorable members of the National Assembly, I want to reiterate that nation building is an enormous task, and as a key stakeholder in this process, I pray that our deeds and actions be guided by justice and conscience towards the common good of all. May I also thank Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, the Office of the Clerk, the Task Force, and all those who in their various ways contributed immensely to making this day a success. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses and guides us all. Honorable members, before I put the question, may I kindly remind all guests to remain seated to allow His Excellency the President to take leave of the chambers, to be followed by the Vice President, Cabinet Ministers, and others. On that note, I will now put the question. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Monday, 12th June 2023. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. This Assembly now stands adjourned until Monday, 12th June 2023 at 10 a.m. prompt.
ku yor du sa xat te quality jas na ñoo yor seen cumbukaay tur day uyu borom jasna pire soo ko bëggee fii si biir Gambia bi dawal foofu sa quality jasna your number one stop shop. Ana sama jigéen ñi dama bëgg ngeen jox ma seen nopp garme yi ndaxte quality jasna amal nañ leen ay til yu toj daala poos abaaya yu yiiw waaye it amal nañ leen ay boreda yu rafet boreda yoo xam ne pour góor ñi la ak pour jigéen ñi amal nañ leen body scrub yi nga xam ne nii dafay defar seen yaram bam nice waaye it fàttewuñ fa diw yi. Ana sama jeeg yu pare yi quality jasna amal nañ leen fa andi cuuraay yu neex house spray ak bépp xeetu baax pour seen biir néeg dama ne atum ren jii ku sa jëkkër mere ku ne yow la neex ndaxte quality jasna ñëw na si dëkk bi pour defar sëy yi. Makeup artist yi bàyyi leen gannaaw ñu ngi leen fa amal ay makeup product yu quality waxu leen léegi nii foofa sa Westfield jàkkaarloog monument bi wala nga jokkoo quality jasna si 250 01 24 ak quality jasna taaral sa bopp taaral sa néeg waaye it bégal sa alaaji aas. Yoddu sa xët te quality jasna ñoo yor seen cumbukaay tur day uyu borom jasna pire soo ko bëggee fii si biir Gambia bi dawal foofu sa quality jasna your number one stop shop. Ana sama jigéen ñi dama bëgg ngeen jox ma seen nopp garme yi ndaxte quality jasna amal nañ leen ay til yu toj daala poos abaaya yu yiiw waaye it amal nañ leen ay boreda yu rafet boreda yoo xam ne pour góor ñi la ak pour jigéen ñi amal nañ leen body scrub yi nga xam ne nii dafay defar seen yaram bam nice waaye it fàttewuñ fa diw yi. Ana sama jeeg yu pare yi quality jasna amal nañ leen fa andi cuuraay yu neex house spray ak bépp xeetu baax pour seen biir néeg dama ne atum ren jii ku sa jëkkër mere ku ne yow la neex ndaxte quality jasna ñëw na si dëkk bi pour defar sëy yi. Makeup artist yi bàyyi leen gannaaw ñu ngi leen fa amal ay makeup product yu quality waxu leen léegi nii foofa sa Westfield jàkkaarloog monument bi wala nga jokkoo quality jasna si 250 01 24 ak quality jasna taaral sa bopp taaral sa néeg waaye it bégal sa alaaji aas.
Hello everybody. This is a message from Washington West African Center calling us to mean a community that is loving, peaceful, and free from domestic abuse.
Benyum futandila molma min yalon ko wolle be Washington sate kono. Ko wato sitele pour nga soutero ke num fanan nga nyo hakilo bulandi domestic violence la sembola warola na kabilol ka. Natere ma nyim faham. domestic violence atele mantoraro sifati aning maral nyal min yalon ko manki maral nya kendolti melka kenu aning hani kabe aka kele sakantuma mol tema min yalon ko kanu nyoma fulol lem na korlal kono aning ngam bulol la nyoka kaje ko nga dimbayal soto min yalon ko ibe kala dimbaya kendolati andum ibe kala fenne.
Well, that is it from His Excellency the President after that, lengthy progress of government's policies and programs and what they have in store for the young people of the Gambia, which is his address to the nation. And well, of course, I am here with, someone who's known to most of you, of course, Mr. Kamara, who's a protocol advisor to the President, and well, of course, cybersecurity advisor, and well, of course, did a little bit of communications as well.
And also the NPP Media and Communication Secretary.
Yes. So, Mr. Kamara, we've seen that His Excellency the President today, as it is mandated for him to come to the Parliament to address the nation. First, what is your impression of his speech today?
Well, his speech today is one of the most well-delivered speech. It's one of the best speeches,
Properly
articulated, and he hit the nail on the head. What stand out for me in this State of the Nation address is the President addressed almost everything in this country that's happened. Notably, he talked about the post-COVID, the cost of living crisis that is across the globe. He talked about the fuel subsidy the government is doing to make sure African people can afford fuel prices. He also talked about fertilizers, agriculture, where government intervening to give a massive subsidy for our farmers. He also talked about empowering the women of this country by giving them credit to go into agriculture. He talked about the youths. He talked about defense. He talked about tourism. He also reached out to the opposition, to so that to come on board. Let's build this country. Let's see each other. We have to agree to disagree according to his speech, but let's see Gambia. Gambia is bigger than all of us.
Let's talk about finance, for example. We talked about the global challenges that affect the economy of the country. What do you think that the government needs to do in terms of improving the economic status of this country?
I live in the United Kingdom for the past 20-something years, and I've never seen anything like this before. The government of the UK, because of the hike in energy prices, the government have paid £63 into every household to help in their energy bills. That's electricity and gas. Gambia being a country with a very low income country, a country that is not very powerful, but nonetheless, the president is doing a lot, or the government is doing a lot. As I said, to subsidize fuel is very, very expensive. To subsidize fertilizer is very expensive. Look at the moment now, they've brought in a lot of rice, and the price of rice was 1,800 to 2,000, and now you can get a bag of rice for 1,520 or 1,500 some places.
But so people are that's expensive.
Yes,
we depend on importation.
Importation, exactly. That's the problem. You see, any country that is depending on importation for its basic or staple food, then that's a problem. That's why he is not only stopping at subsidizing food prices, but what we want to go for, if you look at the sector or the section he talked about agriculture, he talked about food self-sufficiency. Yes. How do we get that? We have to grow our own food in this country. You understand? 1,500, you go to Senegal. Senegal is the bag of rice in Senegal is nearly $3,000. All of us know that. Senegal is our neighbor. You go to Nigeria, you go to Ghana. Gambia is having the cheapest price. Now I can save it. You can go to the internet, Google. Yeah.
So nana fanang aka makero minke musol lakaro women enterprise fund.
Yeah.
Covering abe gender and children la pool
yeah.
I work for Nakoje.
Yeah.
But then again, the president was only talking about his achievements as he administered during in 2022, rather than also telling the Gambians, "Oh, your setbacks also, oh, your challenges also, nana tanyina kola." You know, during meet the people to na fenko Nigeria abenun kolo di kan women kafol la mini alonko tata for 93,000 women kafos and more mini alonko wole na faso to nyina karola. But then again, if you am the president on yanti communicate nana taka muson sembentu ya, you know, and for entrepreneur and for the business wala karaba. Yeah.
Wala tinna niara speak la moy ako mansa kundaye yela bundaye na san 2 minister of agriculture whereby the physical code to the source to musol fango musol na lo membe tatela ite as a reporter or as a journalist you know your problems, you understand. If I want to impose tell you that ido kodo nyi kelate no so what the ngenola wala tinna ko e muska fol mako directly ka make sure ko il left family men na yewluke and no niaji be come membe come he talk about his achievements. So obviously this is the state of the national day. Legislative parliament now kana new one ola kon men tambe the first year foje because he has to talk about the history, the present, and relation to the future. So that's exactly what he did in his speech.
But if we these are the challenges that his government is facing.
That's what he said exactly, because that's why he mentioned post-COVID. We know that post-COVID, there's a lot of crisis in the world. He also mentioned about the Russia-Ukraine war. That's why the fuel prices have gone up, and stuff like that, And notably, if you look at his speech, he is very magnanimous. He said, look, banko je as one banko je banko le nyato na together all hands on deck ngani banko samba nyato
nana tabi president na speech la ay fanna jamal fole fanna be ko na mi fo fanna jamal ge na ye impress nana tabi ila delivering la karo
me ye impress wala mo agriculture because yalla membe je pour banko yalla food thing is a national security matter. Nimor Kongo is a problem. What a problem with well after be dunia kono. There is not an unpopular government among coast fenna for Baluko Kolea. Nimbaluko Kola they result to all sort of things. So that stand out for me. Ka concrete place Konkol Bondi, tangible efforts on Bondi, Kajimon Nako. I fertilize to subsidize the bag of rice, another down, and then Kajeko, women couple those in the Mali, but money needed, directly put it in yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Imagine what I think across every region in this country. If the phone call local government the cold stores, the cold stores sort of money can all mean to so that Kajeko, Nimusulu, a price from the sort of phone call to Akadaya back. So for that being the case, Yajeko, Nyanga cold store low, me along to Musolu is in a Philippine Nina, I can left in a Bagazo Sandana. Ni if you a price that you have to get, but some he can exploit like a price for a member of he's building those cold stores, across this country can make so safe storage facilities so the Musol from boy. Yeah, and Amanda he's trying to encourage investors to come into this country. That's why I Gaipa mentioned. Well, I know Gaipa, left a manufacturing college or left a food processing college. It's not no. Nita the Gaipa, if the facility maybe tax for some years, or maybe Shibla deal, yellow business of will be trickle down effects on employment and in Ponko service, Kajeko, Bakasul, Mulka price, or mention against Senalalu. I love her.
That's nice.
Yeah.
However, that it's simple. As ABCD, right?
Yes.
What are the implements?
These are things. I'm not saying only in the governing. Not bank region, Sierra North, Sierra South. These are going on. This is not something they're coming ibinacularly. These are going on now.
Okay, excuse me.
Yeah.
Of recently, na Senalale Sinokele.
Yes.
The lecture be now Signalable. Akalanteng, the mom price can do about them.
No.
You understand?
No, that's not the case. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Gambia Nimmo ila tio doku, ila tio bebulu. man sakunda ka men ko la min de price o set ne price o set sa to rate le bulu because mo de bulu to mon na kana ngajele Senegal mo jamal entertainment pour kana katiyo sanyi banko kanja pour ketale annu ndol yagele ko ndol biya all end of jawra man sakunda tay mo telo ko so je ke noto bi tiyo bu ko noto ni putata e konko do long ila tiyo ka sanne ko do directly o ko so jak so niaje man sakunda the food fertilizer subsidized na o de salon ko believe the farmers and they believe the kemam andu mbe ando ko every rational human being banko kay ba ingambe banko ifang balu na kat man sakunda bala fatu Senegal because ni mo bala fatu Senegal e ni man sakunda is on peril so mo buka dingo si ke fambulaji.
So, looking at the president, I combine judiciary, ma. I transitional justice for
very good.
And me along ko victims will be all unique and incumbent.
Exactly.
Nigeria ko I round table discussion also in terms of the recommendations of the TRR.
Exactly.
But then, how soon are we seeing such thing happen? You know, and Nigeria, you know, he's so optimistic of you know, Kajeko victims only in a fundamental component of me. But then again, how soon? Because how soon? Or is the government still serious in terms of implementing the TRRC recommendations?
No, if the government is not serious, they will not go to come in parliament, come in TRRC at some approval. It's okay. Remember, you justice. Anything you understand, men not a key to the Carola drug or Manko Putakan. Force framework Jamaica in place can make sure to all government of justice must be seen to be done. You understand? Well, I think the judiciary tend to go. I could be the moment. People are having confidence in the judiciary.
Right.
I think you are all enough to see previously given and stuff like that. And stuff like that. But people are kind of having confidence in the judiciary when they can eventually and stuff like that. Will be confidence in the judiciary. So in a swap, what about confidence in the judiciary? Say confidence of the journey alakitila transitional justice menjanda kala abetama la nyam.
Then again, jadi be later. Najeko ayapolo crime may increase kan Gambia le. And then he commend the interior for giving Gambians a safety environment. But then again, people are still having the question or the fear. You know, still people are not safe out there. Najeko nyaping kangol siata, kangol siata. But more communion it's President Barrow really aware of some of the crimes that have been committed by Gambians.
President Barrow is one of the most informed citizens in this country. You see, crime, when people talk about crime, America is one of the most powerful nations on earth. I live in England for 24 years. So I know crime government private. But let me tell you one thing. Criminals are always one step ahead of the police. America, despite their resources, technological advancement in everything, still the crime control not. You see people going to schools and do massacres. You understand? When something like that comes from the Yemen country, the place cannot say crime fight properly. And the other thing to empower our police forces, to empower the Ministry of Interior, because you see, crime and true crime you have to say crime. I don't have to watch the impact of crime. That crime will impact the individual, not only that individual, but our immediate family and stuff like that. There is no country in the world, even advanced countries with more resources, wouldn't the crime was set. So, but we are doing everything humanly possible to make sure stability of Kenya. parliamentary system of government, Prime Minister is a member of Parliament. That's why he goes to Parliament on a weekly basis. But in presidential system, Obama, what does he do? You know, Obama will go and give a State of Union address. Senator Ling, Congress people, they debate it. That's exactly what's happening. But these president's doors are open to you, the journalists, the fourth estate, because you are very important in this country. You are important to the development of this country, to the stability of this country. Because not only the oversight function, you carry on with your job without fear, without favor, ill will, and everything. So I thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamara. And thank you for granting us this interview. His Excellency the President Kablaye Ayala State of the Nation address deliver rim speech nyinke Nami Soto Yawole Nyintuko a protocol advisor to the President Suleiman Kamal, and of course one of the communication NPP communication strategies Biwole Nata Nunjanka Diamulye. So quickly Janin Karapo, I know President Noe Kujama Fole, so Maminkala Wole Nyintuko Domandin Folaje Nanata ila ala government la progress, because to me President Noe be another just to actually administer, you know, some of the milestones that his government achieved, you know, but not telling us the setbacks that his government actually, you know, we are encountering. So all along, I mean, which of the whole speech mean favorite to be honest, this ministry or this sector really, you know, put up an effort.
I think near Barrow at the press one in the address on him. To be honest, I am not that much impressed with it, you know, because nothing expect more and more margin.
Really?
Of course. Among them, I begin crime rate so la fajang in Bangkok Kanya.
Yeah, but what he says that it is decreasing by. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Even though I will address nyawo nyamandi, I don't think Gambia be nyamin, you know, security sector in Yankaka, because it's like Gambia is open to everybody, more than you know, in and out from all different angles. You understand? So new banko min keta wanyama from putting commercial. Masa kundala nyanta wula security cannot tighten. You know, more jalla ka fanyim banko Gambia ko bugelo. Of recently more far sanyang video kange more free from monje. Who knows? And then when it comes to, I mean, infrastructural development, at some point it's good, you know, it's nice. But banko buka samba wanyama, ita be based on infrastructural development. Anita ko infrastructural development, lang mo ni minyanta kiemu na bango sabi ko nina. Wala nya dile. Are you giving them what they actually need? You know, and also one thing I would implore on him, because nimu wada mi along kap asuto manja is once in a while or once in a blue moon. So if President Barrow opted to come to the Parliament and start to address the nation, ngamela yanda ka nam sol face the parliamentarian or the correctional diala ka tanda la ko nim ni bekere munela wala dati je mun so yo mun fala modi rather than kana ka speed the madi ka mod address katambi Gambia is better of that. Gambia yanda tambela wole level of time, you know. So I hope the other time you come, you will at least adjust on that issue.
So I health sector for, I petroleum for, I information for, I sports for, you know, like, you know, when we were actually having our first discussion, you know, we actually talked about some of the achievements, and that's the same achievement that the president repeated, you know, in terms of the under-20 going to the AFCONs and of course to the World Cup, the Gina Bass, the Gambia volleyball team. So you know, I mean, I think there should be a lot of discussion centered on, you know, petrol, energy, health, that the president actually, you know, left out. So, yes, so I think but then now the agenda, because we almost signal it is time. So, Ramatulai interviews with some of the National Assembly members and those that we are actually in the building today. So we will be bringing you live interviews of that. Until then, it was my colleague Modi Job, and of course, I couldn't hear you.
Ku yor du sa xat te quality jas na ñoo yor seen cumbukaay tur day uyu borom jas na pire sa ko bëggee fii si biir Gambia bi dawal foofu sa quality jas na your number one stop shop. Ana sama jigéen ñi dama bëgg ngeen jox ma seen nopp garmi ndaxte quality jas na amal nañ leen ay til yu toj daala poos abaaya yu yiiw waaye it amal nañ leen ay boreda yu rafet boreda yoo xam ne pour góor ñi la ak pour jigéen ñi amal nañ leen body scrub yi nga xam ne nii dafay defar seen yaram bam nice waaye it fàttewuñ fa diw yi ana sama jeeg yu pare yi quality jas na amal nañ leen fa andi cuuraay yu neex house spray ak bépp xeetu baax pour seen biir néeg dama ne atum ren jii ku sa jëkkër mere ku ne yow la neex ndaxte quality jas na ñëw na si dëkk bi pour defar sëy yi make-up artist yi bàyyi leen gannaaw ñu ngi leen fa amal ay make-up product yu quality waxu leen léegi nii foofu sa Westfield jàkkaarloog monument bi wala nga jokkoo quality jas na si 250 01 24 ak quality jas na taaral sa bopp taaral sa néeg waaye it dëggal sa alaaji aas.
Hello, everybody. This is a message from Washington West African Center calling us to mean a community that is loving, peaceful, and free from domestic abuse.
Benyum futandila mulma min yalon ko wonne be Washington sate kono. Ko wato sitele pour nga soutero ke num fanan nga nyo hakilo bulandi domestic violence la sembola warola na kabilol ka. Natere man nyim faham. Domestic violence atele mantoraro sifati aning maral nyal min yalon ko manki maral nya kendoti melka kenu aning hani kabe aka kele sakantuma mol tema min yalon ko kanu nyoma fulol lem na korlal kono aning ngam bulol la nyoka kaje ko na dimbayal soto min yalon ko ibe kala dimbaya kendo ledi andum ibe kala fenneti sama fana aning sanyu lonko yimman tororol kamen for domestic violence abe kerinen na kabilol kono bari kibar di ma momenti doron wolen ko besem bulol lano nyokanne kaje ko nga bang yin domestic violence amon toro be kewol ni musol bele kam bari asembo fawbe warari musol le kam sekeno kilindi le na mol ma ko miliyalon ko yimman tororol be wolle tam annon fanan kaytandi mol la miliyalon ko wolle be akikan ko ibe men kekan amu kulati mi yalon ko amanya na kela anu mol manya na sunna domestic violence amu kulati mi yalon ko mol buka ko bake anu fanan dol ma famu bake bari wato sitale pour nga ñoo hakilo brandi ni salon anu fanan aben na kabilol kono nyami ni sa fahamu bari nyimu mo be la sula ko ti fanan kaje ko ngi kilinti nyin kama se dimbal suto dimbal men yalon ko sirin sama se ke fendi anu fanan isen nafa e mo ko de ol nafa pour que ñun domestic violence bali kake ñen taka kabilo la sudo mi yalon ko taraño bulu ken wolbe soto laje adum mbajala ko nga taraño bulu jawol ngol bank fere natur tako ite lata le ko ñim mon toro rombe kan fero ke yekumandi ke Washington West African Center la
Hello, everybody. This is a message from Washington West African Center calling us to mean a community that is loving, peaceful, and free from domestic.
To all the West Africans they within a Washington states, this is not the time for more sabi and no say domestic violence it they now shouldn't place them. In case you don't know, domestic violence not something we no say what person use power per you and they control what thing don't happen and what thing get for happen. Now we host them, especially we married host them. For more all work together, more make sure say we family them and we picking them. They will grow up for healthy society them. And we picking them will be responsible and successful adults them. Domestic abuse it affect both man and woman. But woman then they suffer more past man then. As well they na one shouldn't place. We must support the one they will not say that we don't go through domestic abuse. But would they also tell the one they will not say that they do say will not tolerate anything like that again. Just because it not slap you, it not kick you, it not box you, no mean say that not to domestic violence. Even the coarse way they curse you, even the bad word the way they tell you, then they all now violence. Domestic violence. This not something we not say, they not they talk about her, they not they even discuss about her, and often we shouldn't place them. They not agree for me you discuss about her. This not the time for more ring the alarm, more no say bad thing like this they happen. Now we shouldn't place them. Now we all get for work together for more ensure say we shouldn't place them, we community them in healthy for more picking them grow up. In order for
Bukadamo Dima Sadia Tulie Kanimadum Makamulim Kibar Lavenda Bara Bukadamo Baba Dima Katele Tulolo in Nababa was in State Ngoluko Ngoluko was in State Ngoluko Ngoluko Sa apply no Kaniatare Mantara Cola Ibedo Cola Mantara Cola walking family task credit going to Mesilo Kankataning, signing Amoy, signing Yamoy, Panai, Willie Tanning, Sibesito, Willie Efficiat, Conibe was in Timbankoka, Cairo Nata, Congo, Baila was in Babule Tanning, February 1st, Labelatila Namudo was in Timbankoka, Namo Dila Siadano, Banin Manka, Falimalonko, Nurubema Coirola, Falimalonko, Nurubema Rolela, Falimano, Nurubema Coirola, Falimano. Washington State, Yakibaro Natanma. Oh, Bajambarolela,